All right, everyone, welcome to the fifth DEM I Wonder webinar. DEM has so many services, offerings, programs, and hidden gems that we want to share with all of you. So we're excited to take just a few minutes each week to highlight these features in our weekly webinar. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many exercises have been postponed or canceled. The Utah Division of Emergency Management is hosting this weekly webinar series aimed at providing local emergency managers with relevant content and opportunities to enhance their capabilities. Webinars will be live for Q&A and will be recorded for later viewing on the DEM website and YouTube channel. Most of these webinars will be workshops with a hands-on portion, which will allow emergency managers to test a DEM product or process. Our schedule today will be as follows. We will start with our ground rules and etiquette. Next, we'll have a brief presentation by Ken Crowdy on how can I get a preparedness specialist to present at our local event. Following the presentation, there will be a hands-on portion where participants will be encouraged to test out the product or process that was presented. Following the hands-on portion of our program, the presenter will be available for a Q&A session. Following the Q&A, we will close with a short message about upcoming webinars. The ground rules today are fairly simple. Please mute your line while the presenter is presenting. If you have a question, you may type it in the group chat or unmute at the appropriate time to ask your question. This session is being recorded and will be available on our website for future viewing. Thank you all for your attendance today. And with that, we'll turn the time over to Ken Crowdy.
Hey, thank you, Tracy. And let me see if I can resume my presentation. Resume presenting, and I just have to click on my PowerPoint here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you, Ken.
All right. Well, again, thanks everyone for coming to our I Wonder presentations. And can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just have to say that with all that's going on in our world today, the pandemic and earthquakes, windstorms, wildfires, disasters in general, someone said one time that my life is a disaster. So emergency preparedness is more on the minds of people than ever before. And we applaud the efforts by communities and churches and other groups who sponsor preparedness fairs and other events that help their people get prepared for the disasters in their lives. And our section, our Be Ready Utah section, is here to support that effort and answer their question, how can I get a preparedness specialist to attend and present at our local event? While Governor Herbert was the Lieutenant Governor for Utah, he flew over the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And when he came back to Utah, he established the Be Ready Utah program for the state of Utah. Be Ready Utah is the state's official emergency preparedness campaign managed by the Utah Department of Public Safety's Division of Emergency Management. The goal, increasing personal and family emergency preparedness statewide through individual action, is our goal. The Be Ready Utah section consists of this staff. Wade Mathews is our section manager. Jeff Johnson, and by the way, each of these people have a number of assignments and responsibilities, but they have specific focus areas. Jeff Johnson's focus areas is the Be Ready Schools. James Ray has Be Ready Business as a focus area. Marilyn Hoff, as you all know, is the Earthquake Lady. Brian Stinson is Be Ready Family, and Ken Crowdy, myself, the Be Ready Community focus. Brief overview of our resources provided. First of all, we have emergency preparedness presentations. These are 30 to 45-minute presentations on various topics that we're going to be showing you later on in the presentation. We have handouts and a table booth presence at preparedness fairs. We have the www.bereadyutah.com website where you can go and get copies of the handouts and get all kinds of information about our section, the podcasts and so forth that we have. We have the emergency preparedness podcasts on various subjects. Those are on the YouTube channel. And if you just go to the YouTube channel and key in Be Ready Utah, you'll find the various podcasts that we've developed. We also have, we can provide speakers at LEPCs and VOAD and other meetings. If you've got clubs, if you've got organizations where you need to have a speaker, we can provide the speaker for the agenda. The annual Be Ready Utah Expo or webinar. Uh, this last year, it was a webinar we held in November. We had 8 workshops, and that's been a popular event. And so that's another resource that we provide. The major presentations that we have in our section include the Family Disaster Plans presentation. Now, that's really the one that we really like to indicate that that is a major presentation because that's one that is usually the most popular. We have a presentation on earthquake preparedness. We have a major presentation on water storage. We have a presentation on disaster psychology. The Neighborhood Rapid Disaster Assessment Tool. This was something that I discovered when I was deployed to Hurricane Charlie, and I came back with this tool that takes the place of block captain programs and provides an assessment for neighborhoods without having any kind of training, without any block captains, and just using spontaneous volunteers. Winter preparedness is another major presentation that we put together. And then we have a presentation on important documents. But in addition to those major presentations, we have all kinds of other topics. And I won't read all of these, but you can kind of get the gist of what we have. From disaster supply kits, important documents, special needs, car survival and emergency kits. There's the putting down roots in earthquake country, children in the disasters, pet preparedness is another issue. Social media, the 14 points for business continuity planning, the 12-point emergency preparation for schools, the pillowcase project, Prepare with Pedro, the CAT program, the community awareness program. So you kind of get an idea of the other topics that we have as well. To schedule a preparedness specialist, it's pretty simple. You simply email Wade Mathews, the Be Ready Utah section manager, at wmathews@utah.gov, or you can call him at that number that I've got listed, 801-834-9741. We also like to keep our state region DEM liaison officers involved. And of course, you could contact them. Here's a map showing the liaisons and their counties that they represent. Kimberly Giles, Northern Utah, Cameron Kirkham in the Wasatch Front area, Jeff Gallagher in the Central Utah area, Scott Alvord, Southwest Utah, Michelle Miller in Northeastern Utah, Angela Crowther in the Castle Country and Four Corners areas. Anna Boynton is also in charge of the tribal sovereign nations. Program manager for our liaisons is Tara Buchanan. So again, the liaisons are well aware of our Be Ready Utah section. They themselves are experts. And so if you wanted to contact them as well to be involved in any kind of a presentation, that would be a good source as well. But they could contact us to assist if they needed to. So the information required when you do want a presentation would be the following. First of all, the name of the organization or the event. Is this a booth or presentation or both? Some people would just like to have us man a booth and provide handouts. Some want a specific presentation and some would like to have us do both. And so we're prepared to do that. We need to know the approximate number of attendants so that we can provide that many handouts if necessary. Just need to know the number so we know the number of handouts. The date and time, of course, of the event. The contact person, the phone number and the email for that person. The address of the event, of course, is important. And then any other special instructions like parking, pardon me, if there's a parking issue, we need to know where to park and that kind of thing. So those are the basic, that's the basic information. A hands-on activity. This has been a brief presentation. It's pretty short, but we'd like to give you an activity now to be thinking about. Consider the organizations that you work with, including communities, neighborhoods, families, clubs, co-workers, committees, and so forth. that you're involved with. Select a date and time on your calendar that works for you and that organization. Send an email to Wade at that address, wmathews@utah.gov, requesting a specific topic for a presentation. And go ahead and take that action today. Think about who we can come and present to and set up a date and time. Any questions for me?
Ken, I'll get the question started.
Okay,
During the pandemic, are you doing any in-person presentations?
good question. During the pandemic, we are not making any in-person appearances at preparedness fairs. We will resume that appearance after the pandemic. So we're not doing anything at preparedness fairs on an in-person basis. And mostly, I think most preparedness fairs are probably not even being scheduled now.
Right. So are you doing any of your presentations virtually?
Yes, in fact, that's what we would do. If you made a date for a presentation, all of these presentations we can do are virtual, and we've had great success with those already. Marilyn Hoff, our earthquake lady, she has been very busy, especially with those recently. And so we would simply use the platform that the customer has, or we would use our Be Ready Utah Zoom account platform to do the virtual presentation.
Great, thank you. Chris Blinzinger has a question for you.
Hey, thank you, Tracy, and thank you for the presentation. First off, let me say Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
Hey, secondly, I didn't see it up there, but do you guys do any presentations on community wildfire vulnerability or participation to really get some excitement about people taking action for defensible space and things like that? Or is that more state lands?
Well, actually, that's included a little bit in our family preparedness presentation. But what we could do is, if there was a specific need, we could put together a presentation focused on that as well. We do cover that just briefly in the family preparedness general presentation that we have.
There might be a few communities here on the Wasatch Front that might have a wildland urban interface that would be helpful.
Right.
Right, it looks like Wade has a comment.
I was just going to say, I do think that the Division of Natural Resources, Forestry, Fire, and State Lands would also be a good resource for something like that. We don't want to step on their toes, and we want to stay in our lane a little bit. But we do partner with them, and if you're not able to reach out to them or get something from them, we could try and help set something up for you with that.
I'll give them a shout, see what they've got, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Jason Curry is the PIO there.
All right, looks like we have a question from Bluffdale City.
Hi, good to see everyone. So we have scheduled virtual meetings every month for 2021 for preparedness. And so is there a way for you to email the slides, or can we see the presentation, or will you custom make the presentations if I could use some guest speakers each month?
Wade, do you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, thank you. Some of our presentation slides are already available on our Be Ready Utah website, bereadyutah.gov. I think it's under Be Ready Family and Resources. You can find a couple of our slide decks there. We have not posted all of our slide decks there yet. You're welcome to use those if you like. If you'd like us to be a guest presenter on any of the topics that Ken talked about today, we'd be happy to do that if you just reached out to us and gave us some notice. And if you were, depending on the length of time, looking for something more specific that we could tailor for you, we could try to do that. Again, we have a pretty broad range of topics already covered, so hopefully those would meet your needs. But like I say, if there's something else that you'd like us to discuss or maybe help you find a different guest presenter on, we could help you with that.
And who is the best person to coordinate that? Is that you, Wade?
Yeah, I think to simplify things, you can just reach out to me. I had a discussion with Tracy Bodley about this earlier. We are working on getting an automated request system up on our new website. We're redesigning and building a new website that'll have an automated request form on it. And in the meantime, and specifically for all of our emergency management partners, just feel free to just reach out to me directly to schedule any of these, and I'll get it assigned to our staff, our appropriate staff for those.
Are evenings okay typically? Because we scheduled them for, I think 7:30 to 8:30 the first Thursday of every month. Is that appropriate to ask?
Yes, it is. We're happy to do evening presentations, occasional Saturday presentations. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that question. Joaquin asks in the chat, Ken, can you go back in your slides to the breakdown of your team and what each sector each of them is focused on?
I'm heading back there now, and oh,
Thank
there we
you.
go.
And then it looks like Joanne Larson mentioned that Brian Stinson did a presentation on winter preparedness at our monthly community preparedness meeting via Zoom, and it was fantastic. So she's had a lot of comments from the community on what a good presentation it was.
Thank you for that comment.
And then it looks like Brian may have a question or comment as well.
Go, Brian.
Yes, Ken, I was wondering if you knew if people were not able to attend these virtual seminars, if there's a way that they could watch them later.
Go, Brian. You can answer that question.
Well, yes, we'd encourage people to check out the Be Ready Utah YouTube video. We did an I Wonder series on it last week, but you can go there and get the recorded presentations and watch them anytime at your leisure. And there's also an option if you prefer not to share it with the general public. We can keep that as a private option as well, and only the people that you send the link to will be able to watch that presentation. So a couple of options there. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Brian. Any other questions?
Chris Blenzinger, did you have another question? Oh, it's still got your hand raised, but there we go.
Negatory, thank you.
Yeah, looks like we have another comment in the chat. Do you welcome those of us in the emergency management community to assist in a presentation? And what training do we need to be part of your team?
I think the short answer is we'd be happy to have you come on board and assist. Wade, maybe you want to make a comment about that as well.
Yeah. Do we welcome those in the EM community to assist in a presentation? Absolutely. Basically, we would look at it the other way. We'd love to assist you. If you have something that you're putting together for a group or organization, some of those that Ken has listed under the what is it, the hands-on activity slide is just different groups that you might be organizing a training for. We'd be happy to assist you. And if it's if it's your community, the EM community that you are responsible for, and if you'd like us to include you, in a certain area of the topic presented, just let us know. If you wanted to talk more about your warning systems in your area, we'd be happy to give you some time to talk about warning systems. That's one of our slides in our family disaster plan presentation, for an example. Or if you wanted to talk more about your evacuation plan for your city, we'd give you time to talk more about that when we were discussing protective action. So yeah, as Ken said, the answer is yes, and it just depends on how we wanted to work that out, how you wanted to work that out with us.
Great, thank you, Wade. Are there any other questions or comments from the audience?
If
James
not,
Ray. Oh, sorry.
Another hand. Go ahead.
James Ray has added in the comments that we can also provide all the tools you need to do the presentation if you would like to do it on your own. So there's
Good comment, James.
a lot of help that your team can provide. Thanks, Ken.
Well, in closing, I would just say if there are no more questions, and if there are, that's okay. But closing, just say, think about what you can do today. Are you ready? add to your preparedness plan today or add to your kit today. Do something today. Take some action to make sure that you're ready for the disasters in our lives. And thank you. And that concludes my I Wonder presentation.
Thank you, Ken, for your presentation and for all of the materials that you provided, and Wade and your team. We appreciate everyone. As a reminder, this webinar and all other webinars in this series will be available on the DEM website at dem.utah.gov/exercises. Our webinar next week is canceled, as well as the week after, due to the holidays. If you have any I Wonder topic suggestions, please reach out to Tracy Bodley it's tbodley@utah.gov to have your topic added to our calendar. We will be holding our next I Wonder workshop on January 7th of 2021. I wonder, are our schools ready? Be Ready Schools School Preparedness presentation will be given at that time. We're always excited to help you explore and get to know all that DEM can offer the emergency management community. We thank you again for joining us. Congratulations on successfully navigating 2020, and have a wonderful winter break during this holiday season. We'll see you in 2021.
Woohoo! Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Thanks, Tracy.
Yep. Thanks,
Thanks,
Ken.
Wade.